dabei aus Ecuador, die den Part auf Englisch machen wird und so ein bisschen Einblick geben wird in den gemeindebasierten Tourismus. So please allow me to change the language in order to move on to the speaker concerning tourism, community-based tourism today. As I mentioned, we are having a look at the very participative approach of community-based tourism together with Veronica Munoz. She is a project coordinator based in Ecuador and accompanies indigenous tourism initiatives in order to path the way to sustainable development and promotion. Dear Veronica, we are so happy to have you here today, and the stage is yours. Veronica, you are still muted. Can you please turn on the speaker? Veronica, can you please turn on the speaker? We can't hear you. Thanks.
Can you hear me now? Yes? Okay, thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much for the invitation, Celia and the people from Germany. It's a pleasure that I can have the time to share our experiences here in Ecuador related to community-based tourism. And I'm sorry for not speaking in German. Okay, I will explain a little bit about the project that we are doing here and the work that we are doing with the companies and also the community-based tourists. We are working in Ecuador with tourists since 2016. We promote the certification in destinations, in community-based tourism, and of course on enterprises. This is the general numbers of tourist certification in the world, and of course Ecuador is also a commitment with these numbers. What we have done. We think that the certification program we designed for the tourists composed by sustainability and corporate social responsibility. Some of the things that we are doing are implementing quality criteria, ensure safety and standards, and now is more important than before, I think so. Of course, putting sustainable into practices and raises customer satisfaction. All of this is continuous improvement system that we are working with destination communities and enterprises that are commitment. And today I am going to explain about the project, Turicom project that we are doing in Ecuador, Colombia, and Peru. We have some partners, CATE, TourServe, of course, and also Be Social in Ecuador and CBC in Peru. What we think is community-based tourism. There is many explanation what is community-based tourism, but for us it's very important to understand it's a way of doing tourism in which travelers and tourists have the opportunity to know the destinations and have that different contact with the local populations and learn about their lives, culture, and traditions in an authentic way. At the same time, it creates new income opportunities at a local level, promotes sustainable livelihoods, and contributes to conserve the environment. So we are thinking, so when we work with communities in Ecuador, Peru, and Colombia, we think in two main approaches: promote sustainable livelihoods and conserve the biodiversity, especially in countries like us, like we have a high biodiversity numbers. How we are focusing our work on community-based tourism, we are working in four main topics. One of them is related with the certification standard. We think that certification is very important to strengthening the government's model. We are also working in increase the quality and competitiveness of the initiatives. So that's why we qualified under our certification program, TourCert or TourCert certification. And we are trying also to promote new sustainable products, focusing on improving the visitor experience. That is a new objective that we have for the next year, to create new products related with Ecuador, Peru, and Colombia, so the people has the opportunity, especially the visitors or the tourists, has the opportunity to experience South America in another approach, in another way. And of course, we are working with Ventura, tour operators to create fairtrips.com, which is a platform that we strongly believe is a new, very good tool to help the communities in the commercialization approach, because many of them, they don't have the experience, and they don't have the qualifications, and of course they don't have the resources to be in the OTAs and other places that is very, very important for the communities, which are in other part of my presentations, which are the advantages of community-based tourism for the communities concerned. And we have some examples of some of the communities that we are working here in Ecuador. One of these communities called Yunquilla. They are very close to Quito, at least 1 hour from Quito. And so tourists, they have been able to generate effective biodiversity conservation. They are conserving at least to 13,000 acres, almost like that. And they are working for 23 years in sustainable tourism. They are very commitment with the conservation of this high biodiversity point that is called Choco biodiversity. So it's very, very important, this approach. The other community that we are working is Amopaquín Women's Association. They are located in the Amazon. They are located in Napo province. They preserving the ancestral medicinal of the Quechua people, have found tourism as an opportunity to strengthen their livelihood. So they are mixing the medicinal ancestral and also with the tourist approach. So they can find another way, especially for the women that are part of the association. We are working also with a community tour operator that is called Saraulco. They are located in the south part of Ecuador. They are working with at least 10 communities that are located around Saraguro, that are offering lodging, food, and excursions, and they are also mixing with handicrafts and another initiatives that are in that part. So they are trying to promote sustainable livelihoods in the area. Another interesting experience that we have in the project is Sinchi Warmi. They are also a community woman experience. They are located also in the Amazon, and they find through the tourists the opportunity to integrate the woman, especially of the community that are very close, and they have the opportunity to increase the incomes in the family, and of course to find another way, especially for the woman, because the woman before the project, they have some social issues and social problems that was resolved through the tourists. Other very important project for us is Santa Lucia Conservation and Sustainable Community. They are very commitment with the conservation of the forest. They are located also in the cloud forest, not in the rainforest, in the cloud forest, and they working in experiences related with scientific, with investigation and things like that. So they also through the tourists, they are conserving part of this important ecosystem. Shandia, they are located also in the Amazon region. They work very close with all the cacao experience. When you visit them, you have the opportunity to share with the community, and of course, they have a lot of experience with the production of cacao. So when you visit them, then you can have also the opportunity to visit agriculture practices that they have within the community. Salango community, we travel to the coast of Ecuador. They are located close to a national park, Machalilla National Parks. They offer whale watching tours, museum, community accommodation, and tourism has been an opportunity to strengthen the governance within the community. They have a big problems, especially during the pandemic, but now they are better and they are trying to increase the participation of the community in the tourism in many different ways that they are doing. So for summarize all the things that we are working with the communities, we find some interesting points that what we have to work with community-based tourism, biodiversity conservation and promotion of sustainable livelihoods within the communities, and also the protection of the territory through tourism articulation with complementary productive activities is very, very important. That's why we have to support the development and increase the visitation to these important projects. Of course, generation of incentives for the most vulnerable population, especially for the older people, for the women and the young, that they don't have the opportunity to have an employment. So through the tourism, we can create that opportunities. Of course, strengthening the value chain in and around tourism in order to contribute to the diversification of economic income within the communities. We think is not the only way that we can have a very good approach with the communities. Tourism is only one option, but we think through the tourism can be handicrafts, agricultural products, and other activities that the communities can develop. And of course, we think the tourist has the opportunity to strengthen in the management models, generational change, and leadership within the communities together, strengthening, especially for this time that is very, very hard for the communities. And develop processes linked to continuous improvement, safety, and biosafety. That is the work that we are doing under 2 years. We are working very hard with the communities to improvement the quality, the safety, and biosafety related with the pandemic especially. And improve the quality of life, have a market presence that contributes to long-term sustainability. And through the work that you are doing in German, we think we can contribute through this main objective, because the people are trying to get another approach. They are trying to find another way to live, and of course the way of they live, and of course the way that they are conserving their territory is very, very important in this way. What is our certification approach? We related with community-based tourism. We have based in destination certification program through TourCert, plus practical experience of the communities in Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru. We think and we analyze strategy and planning, common good and quality of life, cultural and identity, resource management, protection of nature and landscape, local prosperity, economic security, all of them with experience that has in Colombia, especially Ecuador has a long experience in community-based tourism, more than 14 years. We get this certification program. The certification program is related with 35 criteria in total. 13 are mandatory and 8 criteria for the participation in the platform, in the marketing platform, Fair Trips, and also to get a TourCert qualified or recognition. This is the 8 criteria that the community must do comply, related with governance, sustainable commitment, legal regulations, separation of waste, security plan, safety and quality, operations manual, and protection of cultural and patrimonial property through the development of new sustainable tourist products. What can be the approaches for the tour operators to work with community-based tourism? That was a very hard question that Celia made me when she was planning this important webinar, and I was thinking which can be, and the first one And I think the most important is support the commercialization and try to include in each tour at least one community-based tourist experience in the country that you are working. Even if you are not working in Ecuador, even if you are working in Peru, Colombia, or another part of the world, the people that are that think, the local people, the indigenous people that think the tourists can be the solution for some of the problems that they have in the territory. Please try to identify and try to include. It's not easy, we know that, but it can be a very good approach, and that can be part of your responsible program also. Support directly CBT experiences to improve their skills, knowledges by established contract agreements, treat them in the same way like your other partners. That is another important thing. We think that the local communities cannot have the same experience, but is a very good exercise that you try to identify and try to work directly like the other partners that you have in any other country that you are working. And if it's possible, try to engage your corporate social responsibility program with a sustainable development project that are CBT communities. That will be a very good approach, that you can identify a community-based projects that you like, that you think that can be a win-win relationship. That is very, very important, and I recommend it to work in that way, because you can see that the efforts that you will do in the beginning, it will be at the end, it will be a very good result. And of course also negotiate with your local partners the inclusion of different products developed by communities. It's not just the possibility to visit the community. You can also support through the tourists. For example, we have here photo of the people that are doing some handicrafts, trying to promote when the visitors are in the destination, trying to identify some local products, and of course in another way to support the communities. And that is everything, Celia. Thank you so much. I was thinking I finished my presentation. Thank you for the time. If there's any question, I will be here.
Thanks, Veronica. Since time is running out, I'm suggesting that we are giving the opportunity to ask questions at the very